Hey there, Let's Get Metaphysicians. Today's episode is all about soul realization. And instead of having the bonus content separately on Patreon, today I include it within the episode because it is such an important topic, soul realization. Enjoy.
You're listening to Let's Get Metaphysical. This podcast explores the spiritual and metaphysical world through the experiences and opinions of the host and those interviewed. It should not necessarily be seen as direct endorsement or personal advice to our listeners. We encourage you to use your own discernment, judgment, and intuition regarding anything you learn from this show.
Let's get meta.
Welcome to the Let's Get Metaphysical Podcast. I'm your host, Renata Maniaci, here to remind you that you are a divine, spiritual light being having a temporary human physical experience here on lovely planet Earth as she raises in vibration. And so are all of us. This is episode 85, all about soul realization and self-realization. Before I jump into the episode, I wanted to share a guest experience on another podcast that I had. I was recently on the All the Answers podcast with Katie and Cassidy, and I really enjoy this podcast. It is all about humor and spirituality, of which I believe I've said this before. I wish there were more things that mix humor and spirituality. They are both comics, and Katie is the spiritual one, and Cassidy is more of the skeptic. And it was really fun. What they do is they have the first half an hour where it's just them, and then they invite the guest on, the guest having no idea what they had just been talking about for the first half an hour. Then they interview the guest, and Katie is an Akashic record reader and opens the Akashic records of the guest and answers questions. But it's hilarious. It's very down to earth, very root chakra, sacral chakra, and I really enjoyed it. So I am a guest on their episode 74. And the only thing I don't like is what they title their episodes, because for me it doesn't make any sense about what the rest of the episode is about, but I'll let you guys find out that. So go check it out, episode 74 in the All the Answers podcast. It was a lot of fun. I come in half an hour in, and then my Akashic records are open about an hour in, and that was a really fun experience. So go check that out. We're going to jump into the episode now. It took a minute for today's topic to come in once I was calling in my high self and the masters. And then it ended up being a lovely download about soul realization. So without further ado, are you ready? Let's get meta. Masters and angels, I request your presence and support and guidance throughout this episode. Please allow me to speak clearly, truthfully, and from the heart. And please allow this episode to reach whoever needs to hear it. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. Greetings to all aspirants who wish to become self-realized in the light. I'm allowing myself to become connected to my high self and to source so that I can speak whatever needs to come through today. Masters and angels, I request that you help me to only speak the truth, know the truth, be the truth, become the truth. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. There's a great acceleration happening on the planet at this time on so many different levels. Some of them are seen, some of them are unseen. We're all going through a process that has been planned and is being carried out now in such an interesting way, because on the one hand, there are momentary, moment-to-moment changes and shifts and recalculations that are happening constantly for what needs to be brought about, what needs to happen to move Earth into this next iteration. And on the other hand, this whole experience has been planned and laid out for a long time. I've talked a lot about remembering who you are on this podcast. Especially in the last episode, I feel like There's so many different moments of awakening. I want to talk a bit about self-realization in this episode. That's what's coming through. Self-realization, soul realization, realizing the soul, realization of your soul. We have so many different aspects to us. Our human aspect that we see, this 3D being that came in, it's really a small aspect of who we truly are. But in this perspective, it's what we see the most. But that is not the full realization of the self or the soul. This topic's been on my mind these past few weeks because I feel like every day, for whatever reason, I guess it's just time. Maybe it's the environment I'm in, the people I'm around, the development work I'm going through, or just the work that's happening on the planet right now, or all of it. But it feels like I'm becoming more self-realized each day. And what do I mean by that? I mean that I feel different levels of remembering who I am beyond the 3D, beyond this human construct. Much of it is a construct of my ego and personality and skills and abilities and history and even family in this lifetime. Self-realization is remembering who you are on deeper levels beyond this surface 3D incarnation. Remembering, in some cases, past lifetimes. But beyond that, remembering the power that you've had and the power that you do have as your soul, so that you can know what you are capable of now in this perspective, in this 3D reality. Realizing that what is walking and talking when you look in the mirror, that's just a small moment in your entire soul's history. Remembering that there is more, that whatever 3D reasons, human reasons you feel like you're on the planet, that there's actually more than that. Reasons why your soul came to this planet. And that your soul is so much bigger than you can even hope to fit in this human suit that you see in the mirror. On the one level, we all come from oneness. We all come from that same unity consciousness. So we are all one at the beginning and then spawn off into individual souls to have individual journeys and experiences. And in that way, we are different and learn different lessons at different times. But it's a cycle, because at some point we all go back to the whole, to that unity, back together, back into one. This self-realization, while being on a 3D planet in a human body, is important. It's really important to remember. In a way, it helps us to blast through any belief systems that may be limiting here on this level. For example, say you believe that you've only had one life. This lifetime is your only lifetime. That's fine. But what if you really believed in reincarnation and that you've had thousands of lifetimes? And that all of those lifetimes carried different experiences where you had different abilities and different skills. And that because all of those abilities and skills are written in your soul, you could theoretically and technically access them. Say you were a great architect in a previous incarnation and created beautiful works. If that's your soul, you should be able to access that, even if you don't necessarily remember that lifetime clearly. And that's one moment in realizing your soul and what your soul holds. It's really remembering, realizing, coming to terms with what your soul carries. Because all of that is who you are. And we really only see such a limited level right now of each other and ourselves. My experience is that the more you raise your vibration, the more you are allowed to see different levels of not only your own soul, but those around you. Seen beyond just what your eyes see, because we all hold such great power. And part of the process right now that the planet is going through and we're all going through is to remember that power, to literally realize your soul power and to embody it so deeply that you know it without question. And then you own it. It brings in a whole different state of mind, a whole different state of being. An analogy that is coming to mind for those of you who are Harry Potter fans, in book 3, Prisoner of Azkaban, there's that moment near the end of the book where Harry sees that a Patronus is coming across the lake and saves him and Sirius from hundreds of Dementors. And then a bit later on, we realize that because of a time travel situation, it was actually him that sent that powerful Patronus that only a great wizard, a powerful wizard, could have conjured. But when he had that realization that it was him that did it, then he knew that he had done it already and that it was possible for him to do that. And then he did it in that next moment to kind of complete that loop there and save himself, essentially. And that's to say that once we start fully embodying, remembering, allowing our souls to drop in more with the memories or realizations, or at least just knowings and feelings of what we're capable of, it helps us to shift into a higher frequency because we know more of what we're capable of. Oh, wow, I'm having recollections that I have done that, or I have been that, or I had this power at one point in my soul's journey. So I know that I can access that, and it shifts you into where you need to be. And I feel like this is all coming through because we're all doing that on some level now. So many things have fallen away from us individually and collectively and been taken away from us individually and collectively over these past few years. Maybe longer for many people, but even just becoming aware of it. And this is all part of it, all of this, everything that you're experiencing, everything that we're experiencing on an individual level and on a collective level is perfect for our own soul's journey and that of the collective. Because on an individual level, we are just clearing out what doesn't need to be there. There is things that is falling away. There are things that are falling away for all of us. People, places, things, belief systems, habits, food, media, things that just aren't resonating anymore. And that's happening at a collective level. It's all very intense on a 3D perspective right now, but it's all divine. And as I say often, we did sign up for this. It's not random that you're here right now. Even those people that are leaving, and there's a lot of souls leaving the planet right now in different ways. I hardly know anybody who hasn't lost somebody close to them, and not necessarily because of COVID, just it was their soul's time to leave. So even that is perfect. But if you want to realize more of yourself, more of your soul, let's do some requests for that right now. And you can use these. I say prayer requests every morning for the things that I need help with and for the things that I'd like to change within myself or see more of in my life. Anything. And say prayer requests for other people as well. This is powerful. Your thoughts and your words, your actions, your energy, it does have an effect. And some combinations of words and some energies behind things and intentions are more powerful than other combinations. So this is something I would usually save for bonus content, but I want so much for anyone listening that would like to become more soul realized, to be able to, that we're going to just do some of these requests here. And the way this works is you can say these out loud after I say them, or say them in your mind with intention. And I always start these prayer requests with masters and angels. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I'm directly and intentionally asking the ascended masters and the angels, and there is such a thing as master angels. It means I am asking those high-level light beings, high-frequency light beings, intentionally to help me with something. And I end my prayer request with the words, "Thank you," with gratitude and full faith. And I say that because they don't take credit cards. They don't take cash. They don't take Venmo or Zelle. They take gratitude. That's their payment. Gratitude and faith. So saying thank you, giving gratitude after a prayer request, and actually having the faith that something is happening, that is the payment that these beings accept. And it helps. So I've just explained my formula, so to speak, that I use. So here we go. Masters and angels, I request that you help me to become more self-realized and more soul-realized each day. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. Masters and angels, I request that you show me what my soul is capable of today. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. Masters and angels, I request that you remove all blockages, limitations, false beliefs, negativity, and anything else preventing me from realizing my full soul's potential today. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. And how do you know when you're soul realized, when you're self-realized? I'm asking this question genuinely and allowing answers to flow in here. It's confidence, it's utmost surety that you are exactly where you need to be and when you need to be. It's knowing you're in the right place at the right time. It's ease. It's grace. It's blissful. It's empowering. It means moving through the world and knowing that you are doing exactly what you need to be doing, exactly when you need to be doing it. And it brings you bliss. And you know that even if you don't know the answer to everything, that it will arise and arrive. And you trust yourself, you trust your capability, you trust the universe, you trust the world, you trust those around you. You know that they are all doing their own role and that you are playing your role. And if you're already feeling like that, that's awesome. Good for you. And there's still greater and greater levels of it. It's like those Russian dolls. Maybe you're feeling the smallest one right now, but then a bigger one comes and encapsulates that. And then a bigger one comes, and a bigger one, and a bigger one. It just keeps growing. So there's different levels, expanding levels of soul realization. So if you are feeling that, that's wonderful. And if you aren't feeling that, I recommend using those requests that I've just stated or creating your own. And if you like the formula I use, feel free to use that yourself and to adjust it to your needs. I use that formula for everything, whether I'm making requests for myself or for others. I found it very powerful. And what's interesting is that the most recent time I've been a guest on somebody else's podcast, as I mentioned before, that person, one of the people there that is not spiritual on that podcast, the All the Answers podcast, felt that prayer request that I did before the other host opened up the Akashic records. And he said, wow, I really felt your prayer request, and I don't usually feel things like that. So give it a try and see how that works for you. So I thank the masters, I thank the angels for helping me with this transmission. I realize now why I started the way that I did with saying greetings to all aspirants who wish to become self-realized in the light. It's because this episode was about self-realization. It's always a surprise to me because now they just give me what to talk about when I press record. So, always exciting. Thank you, Masters and Angels, for your help on this. Bless creation. And there you have it, listeners. There's some awesome food for thought about soul realization, self-realization. If this has been a topic that has been coming in for you as much as it has been coming in for me, I hope that these requests help you. That is the bonus content for today. It's included within the episode, so no other bonus content for today. There's a lot happening this month, so I am going to see if I'll even get another episode out this month, but lots of beautiful things happening in Boone, North Carolina. Again, go check out the All the Answers podcast, episode 74, where I am a guest with Katie and Cassidy. Love them, love what they're doing. And spirituality and humor. Want to see it more in the world. Waking more people up laughing. So I'll leave it there for today. Thank you so much for listening. Stay positive, stay safe, and stay meta.
The Let's Get Metaphysical podcast is an Up, and Awaken production. Our intention is to raise the vibration of the planet by sharing, validating, and normalizing spiritual and metaphysical experiences. If you are ready to raise your vibration, you might enjoy our free Let's Get Meta Master Clearing. To receive the Master Clearing or to learn more about the podcast, visit letsgetmeta.com. The show is produced and hosted by Renata Maniaci. You can access more awakening content, join our membership community, or become one of our angel donors by visiting upandawaken.com. Thank you for listening. Stay meta.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.